This week we have two topics we want to discuss. The first is community giving, and the second is corporate giving. When we think of community giving, we're talking about things like a 5K run in which a large number of people participate in, some of which may not have any connection at all to the Salvation Army. The kettle drive is another example of community giving, and we'll talk about some of the challenges that exist with that. The second part of what we want to talk about today is corporate giving, where we're looking at companies, not individuals, that are serving as the donors. So, about community giving. One of the challenges that we face is that it tends to require us to use a large number of volunteers, very different than, say, a mail order or a mail campaign where we send letters out to people. In a community campaign, as you well know, there's a tremendous amount of volunteer labor that's brought about either putting on a special event, such as a 5K run, a concert, a chili cook-off, or manning the kettles over a large period of time, from the Thanksgiving to Christmas window. And so that whole volunteer element of community giving can't be underestimated in terms of the cost it takes you as the staff member at the Salvation Army to raise the money that the event raises. The other thing that this week's materials present, and I think is really important for us to consider, is what is the future of community giving? One of the challenges that exist to your kettle drive, which is by and large the largest fundraiser for the Salvation Army, is that the donations are anonymous. We have a very hard time building relationships with donors. So one of the things we want to think about is if community giving diminishes in its importance and diminishes in the amount of money it is able to raise, what's next for the Salvation Army? What's next for your Corps to still meet your goals in terms of raising money? The second part of this unit, we look at companies rather than individuals as the unit of giving. In what ways are companies different from individual donors? How do they give? Do they give money? Do they give staff support? Do they give access to resources? What of these different approaches is going to work best for your Corps? We also want to think some about how we select the right corporations to approach about giving. And there are some characteristics we look for in firms that are going to be likely to support the mission of the Salvation Army and support your goals financially. So those will be the topics that we cover this week.